It's funny how a single overheard sentence can dismantle years of assumptions. I always thought Coach Mason Reed hated my guts. Turned out he was just terrible at hiding his feelings. The first time I met him, I was 24, hopelessly uncoordinated, and dripping sweat after my first miserable attempt at a boxing class. He barely glanced at me when he barked out instructions, and when our eyes met, it felt like he was cataloging every flaw in my body. I hated him for it. Or maybe, if I'm honest, I hated how much I noticed him. Mason was the kind of man who looked like he'd been chiseled out of marble by some vindictive Greek god. 6'2", shoulders broad enough to block the sun, and a jawline sharp enough to cut through my self-esteem. Everyone adored him. Everyone wanted him. And I convinced myself he wanted nothing to do with me. For 3 years, we danced around each other. My friends joked that we were like a bad sitcom couple. Constant bickering, passive-aggressive remarks, and a tension so thick you could slice it with a dumbbell. I told myself it was mutual dislike. Then, last Friday, I heard the recording. It was an accident, one of those dumb coincidences life throws at you just to watch you squirm. My best friend Liam had been at the bar with Mason. Mason had been drinking, apparently a lot, and my name came up. In the recording, his voice was low, slurred, and stripped of the guarded edge I'd grown used to. "Evan God, I've been in love with him for years," he said, with this cracked, almost broken laugh. "But I kinda thinks I hate him, and maybe I deserve that. I'm a coward." I replayed it so many times I could hear his breath between words, and I couldn't decide if I wanted to scream or melt into the floor, because suddenly all those moments I'd misread, the lingering glances, the way his hands would pause just short of touching me, the quiet questions about my life started stitching themselves into a very different picture. The next morning, I walked into the gym earlier than usual. Mason was already there, punching the heavy bag with a violence that made me wonder if he was exorcising demons. He saw me and froze, sweat dripping down his temples. "You're early," he said, wiping his face with the hem of his shirt. His abs glistened, which felt deeply unfair considering I was wearing the same hoodie I'd slept in. "I heard something," I said. My voice was steady, but my heart was beating like it wanted out of my chest. His brow furrowed. "What?" I told him. Every word, every pause. How Liam had sent me the recording. How I had listened to it until it felt burned into my skin. His jaw tightened. For a moment he looked like he might bolt. Then he laughed a short, humorless sound. "I guess I'm not as subtle as I thought," he said. "You thought hating me was subtle? I never hated you, Evan." His voice was quiet now. "I hated wanting you. I hated how much you got under my skin. I hated that every time you smiled, it felt like I was losing my balance. I didn't know whether to punch him or kiss him, so I did neither. Instead, I said, 'You've wasted a lot of years.' 'So have you,' he said. 'The truth is, love doesn't flip a switch. It's messy, awkward, and laced with all the mistakes you swore you wouldn't make.' We started slowly. Coffee runs after training sessions. Late-night texts about nothing and everything. He let me see the Mason no one else got, the one who read mystery novels in bed, the one who secretly made the best grilled cheese sandwiches, the one who admitted he was terrified I'd change my mind. There were still arguments, of course. He was stubborn as hell, and I had a habit of retreating when I felt too much. But every fight ended with him pulling me into his chest, muttering, 'I'm not going anywhere.' One night, months later, we were closing up the gym together. The place was dark except for the faint glow from the streetlights outside. I was leaning against the counter, watching him lock the doors, when he turned to me with that rare, unguarded smile. "Come here," he said. I did, and when his lips finally touched mine, it wasn't the dramatic, world-shattering moment I'd imagined. It was better. It was soft and steady and certain, like the first deep breath after years of holding it in. I used to think Mason Reed despised me. Now I know he just loved me too much to risk breaking me. And maybe, in some strange way, that's exactly how we ended up here, two idiots who almost missed their shot at happiness. Standing in the quiet after years of noise, finally letting ourselves breathe. Because sometimes love doesn't come crashing in like a storm. Sometimes, it's been there all along waiting for you to listen. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated with the latest videos.